All right, we're back on this one that somebody put contaminated refrigerant in. I recovered the contaminated refrigerant. I triple evac'd and flushed it with, evacuated it, then I flushed through dry nitrogen. Evacuated it, flushed through dry nitrogen. I did that 3 times because I don't want any remnants of that contaminated gas left over, because I'm gonna put clean virgin gas in there and I don't want it contaminated because I take it back out and I recycle it and reuse it. So I don't want it contaminated with anything else. So I go through 3 deep vacuums and 3 purges with nitrogen. And check this out. I just put 700 grams in the system on the liquid line. Look at the suction side. Why are we in a negative? Why are we in a vacuum? So I put in 700 grams. 700? Yeah, 700 grams of refrigerant in the liquid line. None of the refrigerant went over to the vapor side at all. We're in a negative vacuum over there. So I'm pretty sure our receiver might be plugged, and I know I'm pretty sure right now there's a big wad. Maybe they added lubricant or some leak sealant. There's a big wad of something plugging the expansion valve, not letting any of the gas follow its normal path from the liquid line right here. This liquid line is on the condenser discharge side. So there's the condenser discharge right down there where you see that little silver line comes up over. My fitting is right here, but then it goes into the receiver. And then out of the receiver, it goes to the expansion valve. It's supposed to be feeding the expansion valve and going through the expansion valve, and then going through the evaporator, and then coming out of the evaporator to the fitting to my low side and reading over here, but it's not. So let's start this up and see what happens. Sorry, I don't have the flashlight on. I forgot, or do I? No, I don't. But I'm not gonna retake because this is 7 o'clock at night, and I stopped by this shop does his own AC, but every now and then he gets one, it doesn't feel right to him. He couldn't figure it out. And so I own a refrigerant analyzer and he doesn't. And then when I started this up, you see in the first video, things weren't right. And I said, something doesn't smell like, something doesn't feel right. You know, it's just not right. So I suspected a refrigerant, and sure enough, it was. Yeah, there we go. We got negative 18. We are now have a blocked expansion valve. I do have this down, don't I? Yeah, I do. Yep, I got that on. So now, from me evacuating it and pushing nitrogen through, I moved something. And we did have a 21 PSI on the low side in video number 1, I think it was. Was it video number 2? Not sure. But now, something I did dislodged something, and it went up and it plugged the expansion valve. And we are at negative 18. So we're at negative 18 right now. And there's definitely nothing going on in this suction line. There's nothing going at the discharge. The discharge, look at the discharge. 94 degrees. It's not even getting hot anymore. Because there's zero flow over. Before we had flow. And as long as you have some flow, you can discharge heat out of the compressor and it'll make that discharge line hot. Look at the high side. It's only 63. So we're totally plugged. Okay, so this guy's getting a compressor, a condenser, a receiver dryer, flushing all the lines, flushing the evaporator and the new expansion valve, $2,500, and away we go on this old Lexus, because somebody put cans of something in there and screwed shit up. And I asked him to tell me to ask the owner, where did he go? Who put in those cans of whatever they put in here? Tell him to fork over the money and get you a new system. All right, see you guys. Bye.